Hi folks, this is Keith. This is just kind of an initial checkout. This is a Hallicrafters SX 130. I've always kind of wanted a Hallicrafters SX 130 or 133. These are great receivers. Manufactured from 1965 to 1969. I believe this one is about 1967. I'm missing the one knob, which you can see obviously. There's a band selector switch right there that I'm missing. I've got all the rest of the knobs. This came from Arizona, and the guy that sold it to me, cheap actually, his father was, he called him a radio nut. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So Dad apparently was into radios. So you got an RF gain, band selector switch, which I don't have the knob for, and I'm trying to get one. This is the actual, okay, so this is really the major tuning, which struck me as odd, but I'm obviously going to have to do a little bit of cleaning. It's pretty tight. This is bandwidth. So even though it looks like it's the big slide rule tuning scale, this is actually the bandwidth. So it's kind of cool. It does 10 meter, 50 meter, 20 meter, 40 meter, and 80 meter. It's got a really good coverage. Got an automatic noise limiter. It's got AM, and it has CWS sideband. Selectivity, normal, and you can go to broad, sharp. So you got selectivity. Here's the X-Tall phase, antenna trim, USB, and CW. Let's see, I believe I don't have my glasses on, so I think that's right. LSB is over here. CW is at the top. 1/4 inch phone jack, AF gain. This is also the on and off switch. I was going to do a smoke test. My wife and I pulled the plug out. Yeah. So, anyway, not going to do a smoke test. Let me show you the back of this thing. It's really cool. I just got it yesterday. Just came in. Oh, it does have an S meter. And the S meter on here is a really neat effect. And by the way, this has a crystal tuning. It's got a really neat. My wife actually loved the box. She said, "Man, does that look like 60s or what?" So there you go. Let it focus. Hallicrafter receiver. And there's the kind of a slow look at the inside. See the date codes? Date codes are running about 67-ish. This is what it looks like. Big transformer. So what's cool is, see those, there are 3 screws. Phillips head screws up there on the top. You take those out. Oh, let me show you this. Just go, there's a meter 0. Just go slowly. It's I don't know, what would you call it, a sparse cabinet? Let me set that down easily. Okay, then you have to take these out, and the ones on the bottom. And what's cool about this bad boy, you don't have to take the knobs off the front. This thing slides right out of the chassis. So I don't know, whoever made it, obviously they were, well, it's obviously Hallicrafters, but I mean, whoever thought this up was thinking, because you don't have to take any of the knobs off. Easily serviceable. You can get to some of this stuff from the bottom without taking it out of the cabinet even, so it's kind of a cool radio. I'm hoping that, now they use ceramic discs in here. It should be a snap to get fixed. The resistors are fairly high quality, high tolerance. I mean, just so you can see it, you know, this thing was $179 bucks in 1965. And that's not including a speaker. The speaker was another 20 bucks, 1999. So, I mean, you would have spent on this radio, sorry about that, you would have spent $200. Now think about that in today, 2016 money compared to 1965. So 179 bucks plus a speaker, about 200 total in 1965. This was a very high-end, high-quality. I know a lot of you guys have the Hammerlin, and they're incredible. I'm hoping that when this one gets put back together, a new cord and etc., that this is an incredible unit. Should be a wonderful receiving unit. So just a really quick video to kind of show you. I know I talked about the Majestic 20 on the last one. I think I want to see if this just came in. I think I want to see if I can get this one going. Shouldn't be hard to get up and going. You know, the cord replacement's a snap. I know the guy at Ohio University who lists a lot of Hallicrafters that he's worked on. He actually puts in a 3-prong cord, and he puts in a 1 amp fuse. And that's not a bad idea, especially with a good radio, and this is a really good one. So we're hoping that this is going to be a great radio. Everything works, but it's very sluggish. It's obvious that some of these switches have not been used, yeah, like that one, in a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in there and do some deoxit and some cleaning. AF gain works great, but this and this one's, that's not bad. These aren't bad, the antenna trim, but boy, that one's stiff, the main tuning. So anyway, 4 bands. I know I told you that. 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80. So it should, and apparently there is a gap between about 1675 and 1710, because this thing's is 1670. That's where the crystal, and I still have to check all of that. I have the service manual and I have everything that Hallicrafters put in with it. Service manual's great. Lists everything you need to know, parts, replacements, blah blah blah. So I will get to work on this SX130. The reason that it's an SX designation is the signal meter, the crystal phase, and the crystal lock. That's the reason they call it the SX model. There is an S129, which is about 169 bucks. It's only 15 bucks cheaper. This is gone, and the crystal phase lock is gone. So a couple of guys on the net said, why wouldn't you spend the money? Because that's the coolest part of the whole radio. But anyway, let me get this cord replaced and get it out of the chassis, and we'll do a little bit more once I get it out. All right, this is Keith, and I'm going to stop right here. Thanks. Hi folks, this is Keith. This is a Hallicrafters SX130. This is kind of a look inside. Took it apart. Interesting. Get up close so you can see it. Some discoloration, not horrible. I mean, very easily cleaned. You can kind of see this. The guy was really nice. This is the guess this is the serial tag, which had been on the chassis, and he had it taped right here, so I guess that's the serial tag, so I can look up serial numbers and that kind of thing. This is just a quickie. There's a little bit of rust on there. There's not a lot. I mean, it's fairly good, clean chassis. I'm gonna go around so you can kind of see it. Sorry to bounce you around. Okay, so inside. Oh, I found a couple of really good old, thank God, big old dead spiders inside here. There's one right there and there's another one over here. So apparently it was a good spider's nest. Trusty shark vac with the removable wand, and suddenly it's clean. I was very careful around the contacts. Of course, that doesn't mean anything, you know. We all know how that goes. So, ceramic disc. I mean, almost everything in there is some type of a ceramic disc, just so you get the idea. Should be interesting to find out, kind of, you know, get the cord replaced. Someone said online that the SX 130 was, how would I put this, modeled or designed after the best World War II single communicator receivers, and the only thing that was different was that they used 60s components. And he was like these. You don't see those very often, Chauncey. So anyway, it's one of those where we're kind of looking at it going, yeah, dude, I think you're right. It looks a lot like every other World War II receiver, design-wise. I mean, it's close. It's not exactly the same, but with 60s components. And the 60s components were, for a large part, better. So I've got to kind of clean some tuning mechanisms. I've got to lubricate up some shafts and make sure that these things are turning well. I'm surprised that they used a plastic or plexiglass, something like that. The tuning, or the band switch, sorry, is metal. That's a metal. And it actually, that's what this is for. That's the back half. Pretty neat little system. Kind of a first look inside. I'm just going to replace the power cord and then we'll sort of look some more. Alright, that gives you an idea. This is the Hallicrafters SX 130. I love what Mr. Carlson says in Mr. Carlson's lab. He always says, if you're following along and trying to do this on your own receiver, you do this at your own risk, because there are high voltages. This can kill you, and if you plug this in and touch the wrong thing, you're going to die. And he's absolutely right. And I have had a couple of those where I touched the wrong thing, and it was not a fun day in the neighborhood. I'm very careful about that now. My thanks to John, Joe Arnunn. He doesn't know it, but he's kind of my mentor because I watch all of his videos. Same thing with Restoral Radios, Don. Love watching his videos. Bob Anderson TV, Banderson TV. I mean, if you're into this hobby, you should be looking at Banderson TV's website. Shango66, watch all of his videos. Jim Lindenius, watch all of his videos, very instructive. Always starts with the camera on, does everything he does with the camera on. I'm not that brave, but he's a good technician, good to watch. He's very helpful. Obviously, and there's a whole bunch that I'm missing. 1151 is great. Rick McWhorter is one of the best technicians out there. And if you want to know anything, All-American 5, if you want to know anything about Atwater Kent or fixing Atwater Kent, I mean, he's the man. There's a lot of guys that I watch all the time and try and figure out what they're doing and why they're doing it. Dennis Carter is another one that's an incredible technician and a theorist. I mean, he can teach you math and electronic theory while he's talking about radio. So anyway, and I'll quote Joe R. Nunn, John, from Arkansas, in saying, "This is the way I do it. There are 1,000 ways to do it. Every guy does it differently. I'm going to go ahead and replace the power cord, and then I'm going to start checking these resistors just to see." This radio doesn't look like it's had a whole lot of use, and none of these look like driftwood. But as we all know, that means nothing. They could be driftwood. We'll see. Capacitors could reform, or they could be totally shot. All right, this is Keith, and this is Take Uno on the Hallicrafters. Well, actually, I guess you could call this Take Dose, but I'm going to join the two together probably. So this is the Hallicrafters SX 130, and you kind of get an idea of what it looks like and what's going on. I'm going to start checking these. These are probably not going to be bad. I mean, they might be, but you know, I may only have to replace the electrolytics. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right. Thanks, guys and girls, for watching. Appreciate you guys and girls, and I will get back to you when we get some cords put in. All right. Bye-bye.